Welcome back. I had forgotten until like an hour ago that when my wife reminded me that we lose an hour tonight. So there's a 14 game recap, then the power rankings, and then I have to do an 8 game preview because it's hockey all day tomorrow when I've already lost an hour. So going to be extremely tired. I'm going to apologize for the bags under my eyes for the next 48 hours because it's going to be brutal. And I was going to do the Zoom call today, and then there was no time, and then tomorrow. So I'm going to push that. Anyways, that's for patrons. All right, that being said, we're going to start things off talking about Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Yep, we're going back that far because with the overlapping games, there was no chance for me to do any recaps from then until now. So Hart versus DeSmith in this one. Flyers press at 3 minutes. Crosby has a shot this block. The Penguins press at 4.5 minutes. Good forechecking there. Pettersson has a shot this block. There's more pressure. And Raquel, just too many chances for Pittsburgh. Raquel scores from Pettersson and Granlund. That's at 5:52. Frost nearly answers. The Penguins cleared out. The shots are 2 apiece at 9 minutes, so not a lot of chances. And then at 10:04, Philadelphia ties it. It's Bellows from Braun. He wires that one on a rush. And oddly enough, even though dismissed the first star in this game, wasn't a great goal there. So it's a tie game. Penguins press for a response. Zucker's robbed on the net drive. Crosby has a blast on a rush. That's held. The Flyers press with 5.5 minutes left. Tippett's denied. The Penguins rush the other way. Pressed by the Penguins with 1.5 minutes left. Hart holds on there, and then Tippett was denied on a fast break. So after the first period, the score is 1-1. Second period, early jump for the Penguins. We get a power play for Pittsburgh. Malkin can't bury one. That's cleared out. Power play's killed off. Just the one shot. They go back to the power play. It is a 4-minute power play on this one, and Crosby scores from Gensel and Letang at 6:49. That makes it a 2-1 score in favor of Pittsburgh. One-timer, Tippett was down on the play as well, so basically it was a 5-on-3. Russ then denied as we get into the second half of the power play, but the Flyers did kill off that second half. Momentum with the Penguins, Letang with a near miss. The shots are 12-2 for the Penguins with 7.5 minutes left. Things get punchy on a hold by DeSmith. We get a power play for the Flyers. Shorthanded Carter break is denied. That power play's killed off. 2 shots. Penguins press with a minute and a half left. Same as in the first period. But unlike the first period, they come out of the second with the lead 2-1. Third period, early power play for Pittsburgh. Good cycle. Near misses. Killed off. Penguins press at 4 minutes. We get a power play for the Flyers. A stick save on Tippett. DeSmith smiled on that one. Don't blame him. That was a nice save. That's killed off. There's some pushiness on a hold by DeSmith. The Flyers had a 3-on-2. That's broken up. The Flyers get a power play. Penguins don't let them set up. York has a shot that's held. Tippett's was as well. That power play's killed off. And then Zucker with one that just squeezes through Hart. Pettersson and Malkin with the assists at 14:24. That's your insurance goal. Goalie pull happens with 2:20 left, and Gensel hits the empty net from Carter and Dumoulin at 18:22. And then for added insurance, Granlund scores from Kulikov and Ruda at 19:04. It ends up being a lopsided score for Pittsburgh, 5-1. They go to 33, 22, and 10. Philadelphia 24, 31, and 11 with the loss. 3 stars in this one to Smith, Zucker, and Pettersson. Shots 14-6 Philly in the first, 15-7 Pittsburgh in the second. Both teams had 11 shots in the third. Final shots 32 each. Power plays Philadelphia 0 for 3, Pittsburgh 1 for 4. The hits 34-30 for Pittsburgh. Hart 27 saves on 31 shots. DeSmith 31 saves on 32 shots. So overall, Pittsburgh good game, and they improved the chances of them making the playoffs, which are pretty close to 100% now when you look at what's going on elsewhere. Next up, the Rangers in Buffalo. So this is one Buffalo desperately needed. They clearly knew that because they were wearing the goat head. They came into today wearing the goat head jersey at home, 8-1-0. That record takes a bit of a hit today. So Shesterkin versus Luukkonen in this one. Early jump for the Rangers. The Sabres would press at a minute and a half. Panarin fans on an opportunity. Quinn picks off a net feed. Sabres press at 6 minutes. The shots, though, are 4-1 for the Rangers at 8 minutes. So the Sabres are getting zone time. They're not getting shots. Peterka has a chance to deflect out. There's a press by the Rangers with 9.5 minutes left. Cousins can't bury one. The Sabres press. Mott had a rush chance. That was saved. Krebs is denied. Igor holds there. Dahlin has a shot that deflects out. Peterka fires one high on a rush. Skinner then has a spinning shot that's held. Nice spinning shot by Skinner. If that had gone in, that would have been all over all the highlight reels. But at any rate, it's scoreless after one. Second period. Sabres press early. Kane's then denied on a 3-on-2. There's a power play for Buffalo. There's a shorthanded chance for Vesey. He fires wide. Sabres couldn't get things set up. That's killed off. The shots, though, are 5-0 Buffalo at 7.5 minutes, and then they would score. Skinner from Labushkin and Thompson at 7:52. It was a one-timer on a great pass. It's 1-0 Buffalo. The lead, though, not meant to last. Patrick Kane gets one that deflects in off power skate at 11:28. That's from Miller and Trouba, so that lead lasted about 3.5 minutes. Skinner then goes beast mode. That was defended. Tarasenko has a rush chance that's saved. Quinn's denied. Igor holds on there. Gergensons has a shot that deflects out. The Sabres press with 2 minutes left. With 56.2 seconds left, the Rangers get a power play. So that rolls over into the third period. Zibanejad has a blast that's saved. The Sabres finish the kill. They then rush the other way. Peterka has a rush chance that's saved. Schneider has a net drive that's saved. So the shots are 4 apiece at 4.5 minutes. The Rangers press. Big saves by Lucan in there to keep the Sabres tied. Greenway, he has a hit that draws some cheers. Things get punchy after a hold by Igor. Power play for the Rangers. Trocheck's denied. Rebounds held. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that's broken up. That power play is killed off. Power play then for Buffalo. That's killed off as well. Olofsson couldn't bury one in the final minute. We're going to overtime. The Rangers control early. They end up drawing themselves a power play. Kane fires one wide. They cycle, and eventually they score. It's Panarin burying a rebound. Fox and Zibanejad with the assists at 2:02. The Rangers go into Buffalo, and they win one. In overtime, 2-1. They go to 37-19-9 with the win. For Buffalo, 32-28-5. Costly loss here. They need 2 points. They need to start stringing some wins together. Their home record probably going to cost them a playoff spot. So 3 stars in this one: Shesterkin, Panarin, and Skinner. Shots on net, 7-6 Rangers in the first, 13-5 Buffalo in the second, 14-11 Buffalo in the third. Rangers had all 3 shots in overtime, including the one that matters. Final shots, 33-26 for Buffalo. Power plays, the Rangers 1 for 3, Buffalo 0 for 2. The hits, 24-19 Rangers. Shesterkin saves 32 out of 33, and Luukkonen saves 22 out of 26. All right, next up, Arizona giving a hard time to the Colorado Avalanche, or should I say Connor Ingram, because really this was the Connor Ingram show. So it's Ingram versus Georgiev. The Coyotes get off to a fast start. There's a near miss then for Cogliano, but at 2 minutes, Melgen buried on a net drive. Melgen's been great lately. He scores from Hunt and Newhook. We then get a power play for the Avs. McKinnon's denied. They cycle. That's killed off. Lehkonen has a chance that's saved. And then, kind of against the flow of play, Arizona ties it. It's McBain burying a rebound from Krause and Bocelli at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So it's 1-1. Nichushkin nearly answers. The Avs press with 9.5 minutes left. Nichushkin has a one-timer. That's held. Mosier was denied on a rebound opportunity. The Avs press with 4.5 minutes left. And at 17-18, the Arizona Coyotes get the lead. It's Keller from Hayden. He wires that one on a net drive. It's 2-1 after 1. Second period, good back and forth early on, but the shots are 3-0 for the Avs at a minute and a half. We get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. Just the one shot during that power play. Eller has a shot that's blocked. It's cleared out. The shots on net are 6-0 Avs at 6.5 minutes, so they're getting all the opportunities. 8:27 between Coyotes shots. The power play then happens again for the Avs, and they score on this one. It's McKinnon from Rantanen and Lehkonen at 11:25. Shots are 11-1 for the Avs with 8 minutes left, but then we get a power play for Arizona. Schmaltz fires one wide late. It's killed off. Arizona had some chances before the end of the period, but we go to the third with the score tied at 2. In the third period, Girard has a rush chance that's saved. O'Connor had a net feed that was blocked. He fires high as they press. The Avs with momentum because Arizona's done getting shots. That's just, they're done. Michelli fires one high in a rush. Makar has a chance that's held. The shots are 3-0 Avs at 5 minutes. Malgin has a shot then that's kicked aside. Near miss for Makar. It's really all Avs. 9 minutes left. There's still no shots for the Coyotes on the net. Avs press with 4.5 minutes left, and McKinnon can't hit a buzzer beater, so we're going to overtime. The overtime, McKinnon couldn't bury one. The Coyotes take it, but they turn it over again. McKinnon sets it up again, and this time the goal happens for Colorado. It's Makar from McKinnon and Rantanen at 1:38. Your final score is 3-2 for Colorado. In overtime, they go to 36-22-6 with the win. With the overtime loss, the Coyotes 23-32-11 on the season. 3 stars, Makar, Georgiev, and Ingram. Shots on net, 12 apiece in the first, 12-8 Colorado in the second, 18-0 Colorado in the third, 2-0 Colorado in the overtime. Final shots, 44-20 for Colorado. Power plays, Arizona 0 for 1, Colorado 1 for 3. The hit 17-11 in favor of Arizona. Ingram saves 41 out of 44. Just ridiculous. And Georgiev only faced 20 shots, and he saved 18 of them. So there you go. All right, next up, Chicago. Chicago gave a hard time to Tampa Bay tonight, but Tampa Bay does end up pulling this one out. So it's Mrazek versus Elliott. Good back and forth early on in this one, too. The shots on net are only one apiece at 3.5 minutes. The first period was pretty tight defensively. Hawks press are kept to the outside. Not much room for either team, as I stated. Near miss for CAR from the slot. The shots are only 4-1 at the halfway point in favor of Tampa. Dickinson has a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Tampa. That becomes a 4-on-4. There's a shorthanded rush by Paul that's defended. Everything's killed off there. It's scoreless after one. Second period. Early press by the Hawks. Gutman has a shot that's held. The Bolts press at 3 minutes. Kucherov's denied. The rebound's cleared. The shots are 3 apiece, 4.5 minutes in. And then at 6:21, it's Braden Point who opens the scoring. Hedman and Sergachev with the assists, so that makes it 1-0. The Bolts press at 9 minutes. Caleb Jones flattens Killorn along the boards. Tyler Johnson fires one high on a 2-on-1. Cirelli exits after a collision. I don't think he came back into this game. Bolts press with 5.5 minutes left. More pressure by Tampa with 2.5 minutes left. With 1:11 left, the Hawks get a power play, so that rolls over into the third period, and that's killed off. And then Tampa Bay presses at 2 minutes, but Chicago would tie it. It's Radish, the former Tampa Bay Lightning player, from Gutman and Tyler Johnson at 5:23. So that's 2 of the 3 players used to play for Tampa. And that one wired from the slot. The Hawks then look for the lead. The shots are 8-5 Chicago at 8 minutes. Crazy third period here. Bolts press at 9 minutes. Paul has a shot that deflects wide. The teams exchange rushes with 4 minutes left. We then had a fight between CAR and Chernak. Hagel fires one wide from the slot. And then at 19 minutes, Braden Point puts Tampa Bay in the lead from Kucherov and Sergachev. Goalie pull happens on the face-off, and then with a couple seconds left in the game, Hagel hits the empty net from Killorn. Your final score is 3-1 for Tampa. They go to 39-21-6 with the win. Chicago 22-38-6 with the regulation loss. And when you're talking about the race for Bedard, you got to mention whether or not the team got a point. Chicago did not. So your 3 stars in this one: Point, Elliott, and Mrazek. Shots on net 7-4 Tampa in the first, 15-10 Tampa in the second, 15-9 Tampa in the third. Final shots 37-23 for Tampa Bay. Chicago 0-2 on the power play. Tampa Bay 0-1. The hits 36-30 for Chicago. Mrazek saves 34 out of 36. Elliott saved 22 out of 23 at the other end of the ice. All right, next up, we've got Edmonton in against Toronto. So this was just bonkers. I'm kind of getting used to this with Edmonton games now that they're probably going to be bonkers. So it's Skinner versus Murray. They've kind of taken over from Buffalo as the team that has the most exciting games, both in wins and in losses. So early Leafs power play, that's killed off, but at 3:05 they open the scoring. It's Nola Cherry from Aston Reese and Kampf. That was the 5th shot on net already for Toronto. The Oilers had none to that point, but the Oilers make up for it. They score on their first shot. It's Ekholm from Bouchard and Nugent-Hopkins at 3:27. McDavid then can't bury one on a rush. The Oilers press for the lead. Eventually they get it. It's Vander Kane on a wraparound off of a rush chance. McDavid and Ceci with the assists at 11:24. The Leafs press with 6.5 minutes left after the first period, though. It's 2-1 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Second period, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, which was a staple of this game. And whatever's going on with Bunting, it's getting kind of ridiculous at this point that they will not call a penalty until he does something, and then it's a 5-on-4. So if it was a penalty before you called a penalty on him for retaliating, why didn't you just call the initial penalty? Anyways, the Leafs press at a minute and a half. I normally don't say anything, but it is getting kind of really noticeable. The Oilers get a 3-1 lead, though. It's a 5-hole shot from the slot, and it's from McDavid. Bouchard and Bjugstad with the assists at 2:33. The Leafs then press for a response. There's a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 again. The Leafs press at the half. Things get punchy on a hold by Skinner. And then Marner with an absolutely ridiculous goal at 12:56. Steals the puck and puts it in. Just very nice individual effort. Oilers look to respond again, but at 14:49, Nylander scores from Marner. So suddenly we're looking at a tie game. Doesn't stay tied for long at 15:55. Tavares scores from Matthews. So, yeah, this is just getting crazy. The Oilers press with 2 minutes left, but with 1:30 left, the Leafs get a power play, and they score on it at 18:55. It's Tavares from Marner and Nylander. Believe that's his 30th of the season. Good cycle, and some more magic by Marner, who continues to be their best player. 1.3 seconds left. The Oilers get a power play. So, of course, that rolls over into the third period. Bouchard fires one wide. They cycle. Draisaitl's denied. They kill that off. Marner has a rush chance that's saved. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 again. Leafs get a power play not long after. An aggressive Oilers penalty kill, however, does manage to kill that off. Bunting and Kane are unfriendly again. The Leafs get a power play. They score on this one. It's a tic-tac-toe play. It's finished by Matthews. Marner and Tavares with the assists at 10:50. Hyman is then denied a response opportunity, but the Oilers get a power play and they score on it. It's Draisaitl from Nugent Hopkins and McDavid. That's at 12:31. That was post and in. Makes it 6-4. Oilers go back to the power play. That's killed off. They would pull the goaltender with 2:05 left. And Achari hits the empty net at 19:10 to take all the tension out of the game. Toronto wins this one 7-4. It's not the prettiest, but it's a win. They go to 40-17-8 with the win. The Oilers 36-23-8 with the loss. 3 stars in this one: Marner, Tavares, and Achari. The shots 14-8 in favor of Toronto in the first, 13-9 Toronto in the second, 11-9 Toronto in the third. Final shots 38-26 for the Maple Leafs. Power plays: Edmonton 1 for 3, Toronto 2 for 5. The hits 23-22 for Edmonton. Skinner saves 31 out of 37, and Murray saves 22 out of 26. So kind of a crazy game, and now it's time to change boards. Then we get to New Jersey and Montreal. Now, what's interesting with this one is they're really... I'm scrolling through all these games, and there are the least amount of notes on this one for a reason. Schmidt versus Allen, the shots are 2-0 for the Habs at 3 minutes. The Devils press at 6.5 minutes. Suzuki has a chance that's held, and at 8:24. Bastian wins a puck battle and buries it. Wood with the assist on that one. Nice play by Bastian. So that makes it 1-0. Gurrianov nearly answers. Strong back checking by the Habs. Devils press with 2 minutes left, and eventually Hischier tips one in. The assist to Severson and Mercer, and after the first period, with that goal at 18:59, making it 2-0. There's your score. And there really wasn't much doubt after that, to be honest. Second period. Shots are 4-0 for the Devils at 3 minutes. Pizzetta has a rush chance that's saved. The Habs would press at 8 minutes. The Devils press back at 9 minutes. Gooley fires one wide on a rush. Meyer has a chance that's saved. Tatar had a snapshot that was held. The Habs press with 7.5 minutes left. Suzuki couldn't bury a rebound there. Devils press with 4.5 minutes left, but before the period's out, Montreal gets a goal. It's Gurrianov from Pitlick at 18:23. So the score is 2-1 New Jersey after 1. Or after 2, I should say. Third period, Hischier has a rush chance. Allen poke checks it away from him. Nice one. He came out to do it, too. Devils press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are only 2-1 for New Jersey at 7 minutes. Devils press at 8 minutes. The Habs are protecting the middle, but they're not getting very many chances. So they're keeping the Devils away from their net while they're not able to get to the other net often enough either. Mercer has a rush chance that's held. Suzuki with the net feed, that's blocked. They would eventually pull the goalie down 1, and then they're down 2. Tatar hits the empty net from Hischier and Hamilton at 18:30. The Habs call a timeout. Whatever's discussed doesn't matter. They lose this one 3-1. New Jersey goes to 43-16-6 with the win. Montreal 26-34-6 with the loss. The 3 stars in this one: Hischier, Allen, and Mercer. Shots on net 11-8 New Jersey in the first, 16-9 New Jersey in the second, 10-7 New Jersey in the third. Final shots 37-24 for New Jersey. Power plays? Nope. Hits 34-17 in favor of Montreal. Schmid saves 23 out of 24, and Allen saves 34 out of 36. The game went fast. There were no power plays. I didn't see a ton of drama in this one either, and New Jersey comes out with the victory. So, sometimes that happens. All right, next up. St. Louis and Columbus. All right, so Grace versus Hutchinson in this one. So with goalie injuries being as they are and everything, Hutchinson being in there tonight. And of course, goalie trades and whatnot, and the fact that, Quick's gone. So, and he was so good for Columbus. He didn't allow a goal during his time in Columbus. So the shots are 1 apiece at 2 minutes. The Blues were stuck on 1 shot. Doesn't matter. They opened the scoring. It's Sod from Blaine and Shen at 7:17. Columbus would get a power play soon after, and they score on it. It's Laine. From Goudreau and Blankenberg at 9:14. Columbus goes back to the power play. That was killed off, but the shots at this point are 8-3 for Columbus. But St. Louis has a good run after that, starting at 13:37 with Kyrou from Thomas and Blais. And then on the 8th shot that they had in the period, they get their third goal. It's Blaine from Sod and Shen at 18:06. So it's 3-1 St. Louis after one period. Second period. Blues had the only shot on net 3 minutes in. We get a power play for them. It's killed off. The shots 3-1 for St. Louis at that point. Pressed by Columbus at the half. Peterson with a near miss. More pressure by them. Blues press with 5 minutes left. Sod has a shot that's blocked and cleared out. Toropchenko has a rush chance. That's held. It's still 3-1 St. Louis going to the third period. Bernie has a backhand that's held early in the third. That early jump was for Columbus. Second try, power play for the Blues. This was their second opportunity. They had no shots during the first one. 58 seconds then of 4-on-4, and then Columbus gets the power play. And now Columbus's feed features the puck tail. I don't like the puck tail. I don't need the puck tail. I've never needed a tail on a puck during a power play. And if you need the tail on the puck during the power play, why don't you need it during the rest of the game? If people can't see the puck, I hate throwing that out there because I hate the puck tail. I'm just saying, no. I had to watch 15 games today. This was the only one that had a puck tail. If it was that important, you wouldn't just have the puck tail on the Columbus feed. All right, so there's a post for Laine. Everything's killed off. Turns out the puck tail doesn't matter. Shots are 8-1 Columbus at 5 minutes. Blues press at 9 minutes. Eventually, they get another goal. It's Kyrou with the second of the game from Toropchenko at 12:15. And then at 15:55, Jenner answers. He gets a goal from Johnson and Goudreau. They would pull the goaltender. Columbus does try to get closer. That means Kyrou hits the empty netter for the hat trick. Thomas and Buchnevich with the assists at 18:43. St. Louis wins this one 5-2. They go to 29-31-5. Columbus stays 32nd overall. They're 20, 38, and 7. They're 3 points behind the teams that are 31st and 30th, respectively. 3 stars in this one: Kyrou, Greiss, and Blaine. Shots on net 10-9 Columbus in the first, 8-7 St. Louis in the second, 22-7 for Columbus in the third. Final shots 39-24 for the Blue Jackets. Power plays, St. Louis 0 for 2, Columbus 1 for 3. The hits were 18-15 for Columbus. Greiss saves 37 out of 39. Hutchinson saves 19 out of 23. So, there you go. All right, next up, Vegas and Carolina. Boy, did this one turn out the opposite. Well, not the opposite. I thought this was going to be a pretty competitive, close game. I had no idea what Jonathan Quick... In fact, when I saw Jonathan Quick was playing this game, I thought, oh, I hope Carolina doesn't light him up. I did. I genuinely thought that. So, Quick versus Anderson. Good early press for the Canes. They have the early jump. Vegas is blocking them out, but the shots are 3-1 for the Canes at 3.5 minutes. But on a wrist shot, goes through Anderson. Marchessault opens the scoring from Pietrangelo at 4:03. Natchez is then denied as the Canes press. The shots are 11-5 for Carolina with 9 minutes left. They've outplayed Vegas. They just don't have the lead. Carlson with a near miss on a rush. Teravainen then had a rush chance that's held. Jarvis to Aho. They couldn't bury it. It's 1-0 Vegas after one. Second period. Early jump for Vegas, but they don't get shots out of it. There's no shots on net 3 minutes into the period. DeHaan is denied on a rebound opportunity. The fans then call one. The ref does not. Puljujarvi's denied. It's his first game as a Carolina Hurricane. He arrived after they've used up all their goals. They've had a lot of goals lately. I guess they're all used up. So the shots are 3 apiece at 7 minutes. Cotter to Bluger then. There's a near miss there. Power play for Carolina. Aho fires one wide. They cycle. That power play is killed off. Vegas gets a bit of a jump after that. They press. So Barbashev has a tip shot that's saved, and then Vegas gets a power play. That would be killed off. Slavin presents a net feed. Slavin had a pretty good game on the Carolina team that didn't do that much of note. And then Smith makes it 2-0 from Carlson at 17:20. Solid moves by him, goes through Burns, puts it in the net. It's 2-0 Vegas after 2. Third period. Pressed by Vegas at 2 minutes, but the shots are 2-0 for Carolina, 4.5 in. Ref is told that he sucks because you have to let him know, otherwise he'd have no idea. And they're letting stuff go. This is how it is. We're getting closer to the playoffs. We got no power plays here. 5 in this one, 2 in this one, 8 in this one, 9 in this one. But yeah, we're starting to see more and more games where there may not be power plays getting called. And they're letting stuff go. Canes, because I would ask this one question: Is it really possible that there are no fouls at all in this game that could be called, and that there's 9 power plays in this one? Are Washington and the Islanders that much dirtier than New Jersey and Montreal? My answer to that would be probably no. Anyways, the Canes press at 7 minutes. Shea has a tip shot that's saved. Natchez has a rush shot that's blocked. Canes press with 9.5 minutes left, and then Cotter gets his first in 10 games. Stevenson with the assist at 13 minutes and 10 seconds. And then the Canes pull the goalie early with roughly 3 minutes left. That allows Howden to hit the empty net from Bluger at 18:36. Your final score is 4-0. Vegas, very impressive win over Carolina. They go to 40-20-6. They sweep the season series with Carolina as well. The Canes 43-13-8 with the loss. 3 stars in this one. Quick, Pietrangelo, and Marchessault. Shots on net, 15-9 Carolina in the first, 9-7 Vegas in the second, 11-6 Carolina in the third. They outshoot Vegas 33-24. Both power plays go for 1 in this one. The hits 24-13 for Vegas. Quick saves all 38 shots for his 58th career shutout. Anderson saves 20 out of 23 at the other end. So Jonathan Quick is getting better the more games he's playing in Vegas. I can't wait for the playoffs. That's going to be great. All right, next up, Winnipeg and Florida. So I hope Winnipeg builds on this, because I think Florida was the better team through large portions of this game. So it's Hellebuyck versus Bobrovsky. Luostarinen hit the boards pretty hard on an early play there. The shots are 4-1 for Florida at 2.5 minutes. Hellebuyck, busy but sharp, playing well in this game to this point. We get a power play then for the Jets, and they score on it at 6:43. It's Scheifele from Wheeler and Connor. That was only the second shot on net for Winnipeg, and it's in the net. Panthers get a power play. That's killed off. 3 shots. Jets press with 7 minutes left. And at 15:03, Nick Ehlers gets a goal. About time he got one from Niederreiter and Nemesnikov. So you're starting to get goals and points from players you want to see that from with Winnipeg. 3:59 left. Panthers get a power play. Tkachuk collides with a linesman during that. But on the next play, he ends up scoring a goal. Montour and Verhaeghe with the assists at 16:44. Good cycle. Buries the rebound there. 2:34 left, though. The Jets get a power play, and they score on it. It's Nemesnikov from Connor at 19:09. That was during a delayed power play on the power play, which means they still get that power play. So that rolls over into the second period. The Panthers do finish killing that one. They then get a power play of their own, and they score on it. It's Reinhart from Barkov at 4:09. Buries that one on a 2-on-1 opportunity. Shots are 3 apiece at 6 minutes. Panthers go back to the power play. There's a shorthanded rush by Stenlund that ends up finishing that power play. Scheifele's denied on a turnover chance, but then Nemesnikov's not denied at all. He scores from Ehlers and Wheeler at 12:59. I always love it when Ehlers and Wheeler are back-to-back there, because rhyming and all that. And then there's a net feed to Appleton that's picked off. The Jets press, though, with 3 minutes left. They're up by 2 going into the third period. But in the third, that standard fight that we normally would see from Florida last year, it shows up tonight. Mark Stahl from Eric Stahl and Reinhart at 33 seconds. So the Stahl brothers combine on that one. And then Duclair nearly ties it about a shift or two later. Panthers press at 2 minutes. Scheifele's hit on Forsling means that we get a fight between Stanley and Holmberg, and we get a Panthers power play. And they score on that one. It's Tkachuk with his 30th of the season from Barkov and Montour at 6:24. But it's all Jets, or all Panthers. And especially late in that third period, Panthers, lots of pressure. Not a lot of shots on net, mind you. But the Jets hang on, and we go to overtime. Jets controlled early. Duclair to Barkov, that's blocked out. There's a near miss for Reinhart. Ehlers has a shot that's blocked. And then, just as I'm getting ready to write shootout on the board, the Jets score. Yeah, at 4:31, it's Scheifele from Connor and Schmidt. And Scheifele buried his own rebound on that one. So the Jets win this one 5-4 in overtime. They go to 37-26-3 on the season. Florida 33-27-7 with the overtime loss. That's a tough loss of a point tonight, considering they could have got some space made up on the Islanders, and of course Pittsburgh got both points today. So 3 stars in this one are Scheifele, Tkachuk, and Nemesnikov, who's fit in well in Winnipeg. Shots 19-9 Florida in the first, 17-10 Florida in the second, 8-6 Florida in the third, 4-2 Florida in the overtime. But Winnipeg's overtime shots, one of those is the one that matters. Final shots are 48-27 for Florida. Power plays, Winnipeg 2 for 3, Florida 3 for 5. Hits 37-31 in favor of Florida. Hellebuyck saves 44 out of 48. Bobrovsky saves 22 out of 27. Overall, very entertaining game. And again, we'll see if Winnipeg can build on that. Next up, the Caps and the Islanders. So the Islanders, I guess we'll see what this game does for them, because for the Capitals, it feels like this is a big win. The Capitals really, Are they in? Are they not? This game, it felt like if they lose in regulation against the Islanders, yeah, we can probably write them off. I don't think we can write them off yet. It's Kemper versus Varlamov in this one. Power play for the Islanders. Horvat fires one wide. They cycle. There's a shorthanded shot for Favari that's held. That power play is killed off. But then Engvall opens the scoring for the Islanders at 5:18. That one goes in off Favari. The interesting thing is the app tells me that Kemper saved every shot. I'm not giving him credit for the save on that shot. If I'm wrong, we'll find out later. So, because it can't be a shutout when the team scores against you. It's just not a thing. And there was no other goaltender that was in the net. But then 6:41, we see Washington tie this. It's Strome from Sandin and Van Riemsdyk. The shots are 5-4 for the Caps at the half. Ovi has a rush chance that's defended. Irwin has a blast that's held. Trevor Van Riemsdyk to Ovechkin, near miss as the Capitals are pressuring. Caps press again with 2.5 minutes left. Varlamov steals one from Kuznetsov, and then Oshie scores in the final minute of the first period, which means free chicken nuggets to the Washington Capitals fans in the area. So Oshie from Sandin and Van Riemsdyk on this one. So Sandin and Van Riemsdyk with assists in the first period. Van Riemsdyk signed a 3-year extension today worth $3 million a year, so he must be happy. Second period with the Caps now leading 2-1. Power play for Washington, that's killed off. They would press afterwards. The shots are 5-2 in favor of Washington, 7.5 minutes in. Get a power play for the Islanders. The Capitals don't let them set up early. Nelson then has a near miss. The Caps clear out again. That's killed off. The Islanders press after it's done. Favari breaks up a 3-on-2. The shots are 8-5 in favor of the Caps with 4.5 minutes left. Really solid road game played by Washington tonight. Martin has a shot that's saved as the Islanders press with 2:45 left. The Islanders get a power play. Nelson's denied on a rebound. Then we have 1:24 of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. We're going to the third period. Power play for the Capitals. Right after the power play ends, Mantha scores from Ovechkin and Strome at 4:15. And the Islanders were so worried about everybody, they forgot about Mantha. So that happens. The Islanders then go to the power play. That's killed off. Power play for the Caps, that's killed off as well. And then Nick Dowd scores at 12:18. It's a one-timer from the slot. Nice goal there. And then at 13:19, Rasmus Sandin continues this incredible run he's been on. He scores from Mantha and Smith. So Mantha with a goal and an assist. And for Sandin, a goal and 2 helpers. So not bad. The final score is 5-1 for the Capitals. They go to 32, 28, and 7. The Bruins clinch a playoff spot with this regulation loss for the Islanders. The Islanders now 34, 26, and 8 on the season, so they can't catch Boston. Your 3 stars in this one, Backstrom, Mantha, and Strome. The shots on net, 12-4 Washington in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 7-6 Washington in the third. Final shots, 27-18 for Washington. Power plays, Washington 0-4, the Islanders 0-5. The hits, 24-19 for Washington. Kemper, like I said, I've changed it to 17 out of 18. It's at 8. All 18 were saved by Kemper. Varlamov, 22 out of 27. Also, interestingly enough, it shows Backstrom as the number 1 star. To me, it should be Sandin with the goal and 2 assists. And Backstrom didn't have a point. But again, there were so many games going on at the same time. I was not paying attention to the 3 stars. I was just trying to pay attention to everything else. And now I need to go to the third board. All right, had to have like a little mini coffee break there. All right, so Dallas and Seattle as we get into board number 3. So Ottinger versus Grubauer in this one. There's an early power play for the Stars. We end up with 50 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. That's Dallas's only power play in the game. It's probably for the best. Their power play hasn't been very good lately. So the shots are 5-2 for Seattle at 5 minutes. Robertson has a net drive that saved. Miller then had a point shot that's tipped wide. Pressed by the Stars at 6 minutes, so some momentum here. Eberle then has a chance to save. The Stars clear it out. Sprong's denied on a rush as he continues to have a remarkable season. Stars press with 4 minutes left. Gord's then denied. The Stars clear it out again. Pavelski's denied and close. The Stars press with 2 minutes left. It's scoreless after 1. Second period. Eberle's denied on a net drive. The shots are 3-1 for Seattle at 4.5 minutes. And then Rope Hintz opens the scoring for Dallas from Lindell and Robertson at 4:51. And coming into this one, Dallas 27-8-4 when they score first. The first goal is very important for Dallas. Kraken press for response, and they eventually get it at 7:41. It's still credited to Beniers. So there's some speculation about whether or not it's going to end up being Beniers' goal. It's his 20th of the season if it's his. If it's not, there's 14 games tonight. It's not my problem. And it's not the official NHL scoring. It's not a big deal. Dunn and McCann with the assists on that one. Shots are 6-3 for the Kraken at the half, but on their fourth shot and on a face-off win too, Marchment. And it's a bit of a fluky goal, but who cares? Marchment finally getting some goals. He scores from Suter and Delandry at 10:29. And the Stars didn't give a whole lot in that second half to Seattle. They really didn't. I thought they did a nice job of kind of shutting things down. But then we go to the third. Good early back and forth. The Stars press at a minute and a half. Remember, they're up 2-1 at this point. Miller has a net feed that's picked off. That's cleared out. And then we get a power play for Seattle. 4-minute power play. During that, McCann has his stick die during a shot, so that gives Dallas a chance to clear it out. Gord fires one wide. They cycle. There's a shorthanded rush for Kiviranta. He fires high. That's killed off. 3 shots. So you think, all right, they've dodged a bullet. However, at 10:03, Donato scores from Sprong and Soucy to tie it up. Seattle then out of 3-on-2 that misfires. Bjorkstrand fires one wide on a rush with 5:14 left. The Kraken get a power play. During that, Dunn fires one wide, and then Bjorkstrand doesn't. He gets the power play goal from Wenberg and Dunn at 16:35. So Dallas pulls the goaltender with 2 minutes left, and they score. At 18:50, it's Pavelski from Hintz and Heiskanen, and we're going to overtime, which means Dallas loses, because that's what happens, right? So the Kraken controlled early. Gord fires one wide. They kept the puck. Eberle has a shot deflect out. And at this point, I'm like, has Dallas touched the puck? I don't think Dallas has touched the puck. So they touch the puck the next time out. They go down the ice and they score. It's Heiskanen from Domi and Dodonov at 3:26. Dallas wins this one in overtime. They go to 36-17-13 on the season. Seattle drops to 37-22-7 with the overtime loss. And I kid you not, I didn't celebrate the win. I saw Dallas score and I said out loud, wait, did that happen? That just happened, because Dallas doesn't win in overtime. So your 3 stars are Heiskanen, Ottinger, and Donato. I would love if Dallas scored at home and it was overtime and the fans were just quiet like, did we win in overtime? That doesn't happen. Anyways, the shots on net are 14-11 Seattle in the first, 9-6 Seattle in the second, 7-6 Dallas in the third, 2-1 Seattle in the overtime. Final shots 31-25 for the Kraken. Power plays, Dallas 0 for 1. Seattle 1 for 4. The hits 27-13 in favor of Seattle. I've got the wrong shot total for Ottinger, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. It's 28 on 31 shots for Ottinger, 21 saves on 25 shots for Grubauer in this one. So in the end, Dallas comes out with the victory. Hard fought, and Ottinger's in the 3 stars. Heiskanen's there, and nice to see Donato there as well, as he had the second goal in the game. All right, moving along. Vancouver at home against Ottawa. So I mentioned this in the 32 team video I did today. I used the logo on here as well. This is the logo designed by Gino Odjick's cousin, do believe cousin or nephew, either way, relative of Gino Odjick's, which I think is a fantastic take on the skate. I think it's absolutely awesome. At any rate, they were against the Sens. And remember, the Sens desperately need to win this game. They didn't play like it. And this is the problem. They go into Seattle, they pull off a big win. That's after they had a flat effort against Chicago. And tonight, it's just not there. And now tomorrow, they're in Calgary against a team that desperately needs a win too. And at times Calgary hasn't played like it. So it's Sogard versus Demko. There's a post for Giroux in the first. Pedersen can't bury one then on a net drive. Sens had the lone shot on net 5 minutes in. There's a press by the Senators at 7.5 minutes. Wolanin had a one-timer. That was held. Power play for the Canucks. Beauvillier's denied. They cycle. That's killed off. Shots are 5-4 for Ottawa with 7 minutes left. We then had a fight between Watson and Burrows. And then at 15:05, it's a cycle. It's buried by Kuzmenko, his 31st of the season, from Miller and Myers as JT Miller's improved play continues. Zub then took a puck to the cheek. Cut his cheek. He was okay. 36 seconds left. The Canucks get a power play. Hughes has a screenshot that's held, but it's 1-0 Vancouver after the first. Second period, the Sens finish the kill. Batherson has a shot that's held. Pedersen has a wraparound that goes wide. We get a power play for the Sens, and that leads to the same thing it led to in the last game, a shorthanded goal for J.T. Miller. Amon with the assist at 4:26, and then most importantly, the Canucks finish the kill. Their penalty kill, historically bad overall, but lately it's been pretty good. Stützle fires one wide. The Canucks clear. And then Amon buries one on a net drive. So Joshua had the net drive. Hamonic kind of gets a stick on it, and then Amon buries it. That's at 10:27. Quinn Hughes with the secondary assist there. Sogard got shaken up on the play, but he stayed in. I don't know that he was 100%, but he did stay in the net. Shots are 7-6 for the Sens with 5 minutes left. Beauvillier has a one-timer. That's held. And then Tkachuk and Myers are unfriendly as Brady Tkachuk continues to be kind of a little unbalanced in this road trip. It feel, and I understand he's the captain and he doesn't like losing, but the temper, he's got to channel it a little bit better. Matthew Tkachuk had the exact same thing, of course, earlier in his career too. So we're going to the third period. Vancouver surprisingly up 3-0. Power play for Vancouver, that's killed off. Tkachuk and Myers go at it again, so both of them get sent to the box. There's a near miss for DeBrincat, and then at 6 minutes and 50 seconds, Dries gets his 10th of the year. That good. I'm glad to see it. The assist to Joshua and Brisebois. Dakota Joshua continues to impress. And that one was wired on a rush. The Sens nearly answer. We get a power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Sens get a power play. They cycle. The Canucks clear it out. Pinto fires one wide. That's killed off. And then the comeback starts at 13:39. Giroux wires one. Shabbat and Stutzla with the assists, and he goes over to the bench and lets in go. That's what he tells the guys. And they did. At 15:44, they get a goal closer. It's Holden from Stutzla and Hamonic. Now, earlier in the season, this is where the Canucks would go fully off the rails, and they would have blown this lead. 4-0 doesn't matter. They would have blown this lead 100%. Beauvillier's then denied on a net drive. Tkachuk's denied on a rush. With 2:02 left, they pull the goaltender. And then with 1:58 left, it becomes a 6-on-4 as Quinn Hughes put the puck over the glass. So that's a penalty. But then we get 4-on-4 10 seconds later. So some undisciplined play by the Sens there. And then with 1:26 left, it becomes a power play for the Vancouver Canucks. What ends up happening is they pull the goaltender to get an even number of skaters on the ice. That allows Kuzmenko to get a goal from Besser at 19:45 to salt this one away. Vancouver wins 5-2. That's their fourth win in a row. It's the longest winning streak they've had this season. They go to 28-32-5 on the year. The Ottawa Senators 33-28-4. And I mean, I know it's too early to say, well, stick a fork in it, the Sens are done. But we're getting to that point. So 3 stars in this one: Miller, Kuzmenko, and Amon. Shots on net 10-5 Vancouver in the first, 8-7 Vancouver in the second, 12-8 Vancouver in the third. Final shots 30-20 for the Canucks. Power plays: Ottawa 0 for 3, Vancouver 1 for 6. The hits 31-22 for Ottawa. Sogard saves 25 out of 29. Demko saves 18 out of 20. All right, next up, Minnesota and San Jose. So now we're into the 7:30 starts, and you knew one was going to go to a shootout. I knew one was going to go to a shootout. I'm not surprised one went to a shootout. So it's Fleury versus Reimer, early press by the Sharks, but Spurgeon gets in all alone and buries one. He gets his first in a while. Zuccarello and Hartman with the assists at 1:44. I think they said it was 17 games or something like that. Wild press at 3 minutes. Carlson's denied. The Wild clear. Couture with a near miss as the Sharks pressure. In fact, the shots are 6-2 for San Jose 7 minutes in. And that goal by Spurgeon was the second shot of the game for Minnesota. Klingberg has a shot deflect wide. Zetterlund has a turnover chance that deflects out. The Wild went over 10 minutes in between shots in this one. Eklund couldn't bury one in close. With 2:20 left, we get a power play for the Sharks. It then becomes a 4-on-4. And then with 12 seconds left, it becomes a 5-on-3 for the Wild for 40 seconds. Doesn't matter. Second period, Boldy has a shot that deflects out. The Sharks finish the kill. No harm done either way. Shots are 3 apiece at 5 minutes. LeBanc has a rush chance that's saved. Boldy's denied on a fast break. Power play for the Sharks. The Wild prevent the setup. Back-to-back clears by them there. That's killed off. The Wild clear it again. The Sharks go back to the power play, and they score on this one. It's Couture from Carlson and Hurdle at 10 minutes and 19 seconds. For Carlson, that's point number 84. That passes the mark of Brent Burns for the all-time highest points total for a defenseman in a season in San Jose. Good on him. So that makes it 1-1. Knyzhov then has a shot that's held. Shaw has a chance saved. Nearly fooled Reimer on that one. 3:42 left. The Wild get a power play. Boldy has a shot that's blocked. They cycle. Eventually they score. It's Freddie Gaudreau from Johansson, I should say, and Foligno at 18:03. Dumba then has a shot that's held in the final minute. It's 2-1 Minnesota after 2. Third period. On their first shot of the third period, Johansson. Yep. He gets it from Klingberg and Boldy at 30 seconds. So Johansson with a goal and an assist tonight. Good game for him. Johansson then has a net feed that's picked off shortly thereafter. Sharks are line juggling at this point, looking for anything they can find, some kind of magic here. The Wild press at 6.5 minutes. The shots on net are 5-0 Minnesota at 8 minutes. Sharks get a power play, and they score on it, but It's a goalie interference challenge by Evison, and when I saw the replay, I thought, I don't know that there's enough there to overturn it, and there wasn't. So Hurdle gets the power play goal from Couture and Barabanov at 8:36. So it counts, puts the Sharks back on the power play, but it becomes 57 seconds of 4-on-4. So the Wild end up with the power play after that 4-on-4 is done, and they score on theirs. It's Zuccarello from Hartman and Klingberg at 11 minutes. Buries a rebound there. That makes it 4-2. They would pull the goaltender with 3 minutes left, the Sharks did, and then that allows Boldy to hit the empty net from Spurgeon at 18:03. So all the speculation about what Minnesota was going to do without Kaprizov, where would the offense come from? They win 5-2 in San Jose. They go to 38-21-7 with the win. They keep pace with the Stars. For San Jose, 19-36-12 with the loss. They stay at 50 points. 3 stars: Johansson, Hartman, and Hurdle. Your shots on net: 18-5 San Jose in the first, 13-11 Minnesota in the second, 11-6 Minnesota in the third. Final shots: 35-29 for San Jose. Power plays: Minnesota 2 for 4, San Jose 2 for 5. Hits: 22-12 for Minnesota. Marc-Andre Fleury continues the remarkable run he's been on. 33 saves on 35 shots. Reimer, 24 saves on 28 shots. So, again, Fleury's become quite the story, hasn't he? But so's that Jonathan Quick. So if they meet in the playoffs, what happens? All right. Next up, last up, thankfully, Nashville in against LA. So Lankinen versus Copley in this one. Shots are 2-1 for the Kings at 4 minutes. Grundstrom's denied on a net drive. Gavrikov, really offensively, he's been playing, it feels like more of an offensive role for the Kings than he was for the Columbus Blue Jackets. No sustained press by either team either to this point in the game. Kupari has a rush chance that's gotten held. And then Mikey Anderson opens the scoring from Velarde and Iafallo at 9:32. We then get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. Fabro has a rush chance that's saved. 1 minute left. The Preds get a power play, and it takes 4 seconds for them to score on it. It's Novak from Glass. He buries that one from the slot. It's 1-1 after 1. Second period. Shots are 5-1 for Nashville 3 minutes into that second period. We get a power play for the Kings. Preds don't let them set up. Near miss for Iafallo. That's killed off. Byfield then has a net drive. That's defended. Yossi fires one high on a screen shot. Novak then has a net feed. That's blocked out. The ice was bad. The Clippers played a game in the building today, and the ice was not good. Guys were falling down without any contact being required, especially along the boards in certain parts of this game. You could see guys just losing an edge quite often, which I think had an effect on the fact that we don't have very much scoring in this game. So, near miss for Arvidsson. That ends up trickling wide. We get a press by the Kings with 4 minutes left. It's 1-1 after 2. Third period. Shots are 1 apiece at 2.5 minutes. Kings press, but they're kept to the outside. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Novak has a rush chance. That deflects wide. Power play for Nashville. Kings cleared twice early on in that. Trennan's denied. They cycled. It's cleared out. That power play's killed off. Duchesne can't bury one in close. 2:37 left. The Kings get a power play. So key moment in the game, right? Left in the very little time in the third period. They cycle. Walker has a shot that's blocked. That's killed off. Kings press afterwards. McDonough took a puck to the face. That didn't look fun. It looked like it hit him in the visor, but still, your visor hits your face. That's not fun either. But we're going to overtime. Kings control early. Duchesne has a 2-on-1 chance. That's held. Or saved, I should say. Kopitar has a rush chance that's caught. Tomasino fans on a net drive of his own. Sherwood has a shot that's held. Duchesne had a net feed picked off. There were opportunities, but it was going to a shootout. In the shootout, Duchesne gets the only goal. That's your winner. Nashville pulls off an important 2 points tonight with the 2-1 shootout win. They go to 32-24-7 to stay in the hunt for a playoff spot. LA 38-20-9 with the overtime loss. Your 3 stars in this one: Lankinen, Duchesne, and Copley. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 8-6 Nashville in the second, 8-7 LA in the third, and 6-3 Nashville in the overtime. Final shots 31-27 for Nashville. Power plays 1 for 2 for Nashville, 0 for 3 for LA. The hits 33-23 for Nashville. Lankinen saves 26 out of 27. Copley saved 29 out of 30. Both goalies were very good. And there you go. You guys are caught up on tonight's games. It's now going to, it's going to be 12:36 because I'm losing an hour in a couple hours here. I might still be up. Anyways, there you go. You guys are all caught up on tonight's games. Let me know your thoughts on any of these 14 games in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I'd imagine it'll take like a day before the audio is going to show up for anybody who's watching this on their phone using the YouTube app. So that's how that kind of works. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.